What's up, guys? How are you? It's your boy Hebot coming back at you with a quick and another video. How are you guys? What's up? Happy New Year to everyone. I want to do a quick video talking about the real reason that PlayStation is dying and it is dead, maybe, perhaps. And the reason why Nintendo keeps doing well. Because I keep seeing all these videos and people just keep saying things that they're not wrong, but they're not really giving all the details in black and white. And, I feel that maybe by me giving my point of view and opinions and actual, information based on my experiences through the years with gaming, that it might help see, or you guys see things in a different light and perspective. So I'll start off with the PlayStation 5 format and console. A lot of people keep saying, yes, the PS5, especially based on data, right? Because data doesn't lie, but data doesn't give you all the ins and outs and black and white answers. I know our boy VG Fisco, shout out to him, the PC dude. He loves showing data, and it's great because you can't deny it. But there's a lot more to it than just the data that many people, forget to understand that you have to kind of explain it in order to give the full picture. And basically he's saying that, the PlayStation guys haven't really bought or don't really buy a lot of games, right? And the new guy that kind of, started playing on Xbox, or Bravi, and he was talking about it too. And he did a nice video talking about that you guys don't support because you worry about Xbox, which is true. Most PlayStation guys do be on social, and that's all they like to do. But the other reason why the PlayStation brand and games don't really sell is because the PlayStation 5 and 4 and the Pro and whatever else is associated with PlayStation is basically because the PlayStation is basically the iPhone of the video game console space. Now, I've been saying this for a long time. People don't want to accept it or hear it, or they didn't want to listen to what I had to say. I said, in my area alone, in just my area alone, I live in a township in New Jersey where it is very diversified with a lot of different nationalities. But the main particular nationalities that reside in my area are Mexicans and Dominicans. Okay, a lot of them coming from their island or their state, country, for the first time, with family members bringing them over to help them out and things like that, in case by case, right? And the first thing that you see when they go into a Best Buy's, a Target, a Walmart, or a GameStop, right, is they go and they'll ask for either a PS5 or a Switch, but mainly predominantly a PS5, as far as when they go buy it directly for, let's say, themselves, an adult or something like that. And that's the continuous thing. They buy games, right? But these people, a lot of them, weren't brought up or weren't raised playing video games since they were little. And if they did, it was probably very minimalistic, based on, maybe their economical stature, because in Dominican Republic and in Mexico, the economic situation is much harder and difficult for people. So they can't just buy more in an abundance because they don't even make that much money over there, even though they work really hard and work for a lot of hours. That's why a lot of them come here and work a lot of hours, make a lot of money, send it back to their country, because the money here is sometimes doubled over there, and they can build it quicker and live a better life over there, or for their family, and then build a life over here, right? And so they're not people that actually grew up in arcades, always being in the mall, in different arcades or locally, or buying every single console through the years, and in the culture itself. So when they buy a PlayStation 5, for example, they don't buy a plethora of games. They just don't. What they'll mainly buy is whatever's popular. And whatever's popular, that we always see, even on the charts with Xbox, sometimes Nintendo, and always with PlayStation, is those games are always the usual suspects. You'll see Call of Duty, you'll see GTA, FIFA, Madden, basketball, the NBA, 2K. Sometimes you'll even see, here and there, something like when the college football came out after a while, the college football, Minecraft, Roadblocks, things of that nature, games of that nature and stature and status. Those are the games that you'll constantly see on the charts, and perhaps maybe you'll see a singular exclusive from PlayStation on those charts, maybe in the lower numbers, like the top 8, top 10, top 15 best selling of that month. You'll probably see Spider-Man 4 or Spider-Man PS4 Part 2, Spider-Man 2 PS4 or PS5 edition, whatever, you know what I mean. Or you'll see maybe another game sneak in, maybe. If you pay attention to the MPDs, you'll see that there's always every other game, specifically multi-plats, that are the top sellers, especially from 1 to 10. Those are the ones that sell the most or the highest during that course of every and each month. And it's crazy because you'll see games that are going to, let's say, PC, and they'll even do higher numbers, right? Like a Helldivers 2 did, or, Wukong. But now we know that it was because it was embraced in China. And they bought the game a lot on PC because China's been PC-centric for many years. It wasn't until the Xbox One, as we know, it had been 15 years since they even had a console. So they're already mentally conditioned to play PC, right? And maybe on the phone, on the go, mobilely, right? So in China, it's not surprising that they embraced and paid and supported the game on PC in the biggest numbers or the highest numbers, right? Give me 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. So basically, I was saying, you'll see that in China, that's why they embraced, Wukong. Because it's a lore that's been for years, that never really been done in a high quality format. Even though on PS4 there was a really nice, probably single A, I would say, a game of Black Myth Wukong that was pretty decent. A lot of people didn't even play it, probably didn't even know about it, right? China included. Now, again, it was on PS4, not PC, so it's possible that they just skipped it altogether because they haven't embraced consoles for a while, right? So the real reason that it's dying as a platform is because with obviously console sales, you're not going to make money because you're selling it at a loss to begin with. And they can sell 70, 80 million consoles, but if the people buying it are just a bunch of casual market people or consumers, they're just going to worry about the GTAs, the Call of Duties and the Maddens of the world, right? The Minecrafts, right? The Roblox and things like that, because that is what is being pushed and that is what's popular. That's what a lot of streamers stream. That's what they see on social all the time. So it's not hardcore gamers the way that myself or many my generation are, the way we grew up, that we play all types of games, support all types of games, get excited of all types of games, because those games are what gave us our escapism and introduced us to a bunch of cool characters in different worlds as we grew up, and we discovered these characters in these worlds. Hardcore gamers is a dying breed, right? We're being put to the wayside because we're all getting older. We don't play as much because we don't have the time or the ability, because it's a luxury at this point. It's a lot of time consumption that we don't have as far as to just throw away, because we have family, kids, wives, health conditions, work, all types of stuff, career, which is perfectly understandable. It makes 100% sense, right? So we are a dying breed, unfortunately. And yes, we would like to see gaming continue going forward in the same way we embraced it. But the reality is, those people growing up, especially the younger audience and younger teenagers or adult teenagers, are more worried about following what's cool and popular and getting the bag if they can do it via social, via playing competitively, via being on YouTube streaming, whatever the case may be. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I mean. So it's not just because they don't buy games. I think the hardcore PlayStation fans do buy their games, most of them, right? We're not talking about the ones that be on Twitter playing Twitter wars and clowning and just worrying about begging about what exclusives they have, or that other consoles are dead, or whatever the case may be. We know who they are, right? People that like to create chaos like J-Dub, right? Or that like to fake things, or like to keep pushing narratives and speak stupidity. Even Reforged himself is a good example. Even though he has a professional setup and looks and speaks like he's professional, but the reality is he don't know shit. He's dumb. He's not really an educated gamer, and he's not really a hardcore gamer the way he perceives himself to be. So these guys are just chasing a bag. And if we can know how to put these guys to the side and ignore them and not pay attention to them, then you would see what I'm trying to say. That the hardcore PlayStation gamers that are actually hardcore gamers, they'll buy their games. And I'm not saying all of them, but most of them will. Meaning they're exclusives and other types of games that are really good from third party and multi-plats. So that's the real reason why PlayStation is dying, especially with the software sales, because the casual market is just not embracing any type of exclusives the way that we did when we were growing up, right? So that is the real reason. You guys can agree with me or not, but I'm telling you from experience, this is what's going on. This is the problem. So it's not just Sony. And that is why Sony was trying to make these live as a service games to try to survive, because they know that they're popular. And so they figured, let's try it to see if it helps us economically with the funds that they're doing and with the financial situation that they're in. And instead, Concord failed and some other stuff wasn't looking good. So they canceled up to 9 games as far as we just heard as of recently, which I understand why. They're trying to cut their losses and fat before it gets worse, so that they can concentrate on other things that are more important that will work for them, like remasters. Because unfortunately, like Yoshida said in that interview with Greg Miller, the remasters still somehow sell, even though they're very minimalistic, and that money that they use helps to fund the other new stuff or bigger games in their portfolio from existing IPs or new IPs. Like the Ghost of Yotei. That's probably why they're supporting that, right? So again, that's the true story behind PlayStation. So now we'll move on to Nintendo. Why Nintendo keeps doing well and why Nintendo hasn't died off. And we have all this perception that Nintendo is the godsend of gaming, right? Keeping in mind that Nintendo with the Wii, even though it was the highest selling console of that generation, right? The Wii was considered a failure because the ratio on the Wii was 1 to every console. It was 1 to 1. It wasn't a bunch of games for each console. And then that's why they stopped the third-party support, because people were not buying third-party games, I guess, for the lack of hardware power. And they weren't really pushing the envelope with the console with those multi-plat games, which on 360 and PS3, they were able to do so. So that's why they followed where the games were being bought, which was mainly on 360 and somewhat on PS3. So, just like the Wii U was also a failure. It sold, what, 15,000 or 15 million consoles only? For Nintendo standards, that's a failure, right? Very low. It probably sold a total of 20, maybe 23 when the generation was over, which is why they went right into the Switch. But the real reason why Nintendo, there's a couple. The real reason why Nintendo is doing so well in hardware sales and games, especially in their exclusives, is because they unified both their portable with their home console base. Because remember, they used to have those two entities of gamers separate, with the Game Boy Advance, Game Boy 3DS, Game Boy I, all that stuff. So all those people that are the portable, which mainly are younger kids, they got the Switch and migrated. So they play and have bigger numbers now, because you remember all their portable units always used to sell 90 million, 70 million, even 100 million units. Always. They always sold in those high numbers and brackets because they were cheaper and they were more dedicated to children, and more parents bought it for their kids, which is what they're doing with the Switch. So their fan base, their hardcore fan base, is also in our generation that's older and no longer able to continue to play games more frequently, and they're not able to always support and buy stuff all the time because they have other real world issues and problems to worry about. With the, they're pretty sure there's a handful that still do it, but they're also a dying breed, right? That's why you see that the game sales for a lot of multi-plats and third party on Switch are always very low, unless there may be some type of RPG, right? Or maybe some retro stuff, and they never really give numbers. But the real reason why that console is selling so much in far as numbers is because it's combined with the portable audience, which is predominantly, I would say, 85% for the kids. Because every time I walk into the store, that's all you mainly see. People buying a Switch for their kids, their nieces, their nephews. Sometimes you'll see somebody buy for like their girlfriend and stuff like that. That is why they're doing so well. Plus, keep in mind, Nintendo games are nowhere near on the cost level of Xbox or of PlayStation, right? They're not nowhere near in that level. So because they're not on that level, those games don't cost as much as, let's say, as Xbox games or PlayStation that cost millions and millions of dollars. For example, Halo Infinite was $500 million by itself. And I can almost assure you that every Nintendo Switch that came out this year, last year, and maybe the whole generation combined probably reached that level of numbers of the 500 million in cost. But by itself, like a new Mario Kart, a new Mario, maybe 30, 50 million tops, because those games are not pushing the boundaries graphically or with technology. They don't support even things like HDR or Dolby Atmos surround, or even, high quality textures or resolutions. They don't do that. And if they do, they're not really photorealistic, a lot of games, or even half photorealistic. They're stylized and they have that, cartoony Pixar art style still. And not even, because it's not like Jackson Daxter on a PS4, right? Or Ratchet and Clank, rather, compared to a Mario. So if you combine those two reasons, that's why Nintendo can stay afloat and making profitability, which is not a bad idea. It's smart, but it's not because they're not taking big risk. And because they don't take big risk, that's why they don't have to worry about losing money in the market the way that someone like Xbox or PlayStation does, because of the fact that they spend way more money, have way more partnership, and and software like Havoc and stuff like that they have their hands and their pockets dipped in. So again, remember that Nintendo does well, and it does sell well because their fan base are loyal, but they're combined with their portable, and they're also combined with their console space. They are not taking big risk, so they don't lose money the way that Xbox does, for example. So to say that they're doing well and making it seem like they just do well because they're the best of the best and everybody wants them, that's not the case, and it's not as simple as black and white. That's my point, and that's what I wanted to bring up in this video today. I have some other ideas from other stuff. Hopefully I'll be able to do it because my health condition has been very tough. I've been trying to get better, but I hope you guys stick with me. Give me more time. Be patient. I haven't gone nowhere. I'm still here. So, guys, let me know what you think down below. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't like the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below of your own thoughts of what I spoke about and what I brought up and what I was saying. And remember, share this video with someone that you think might also enjoy it. As always, for all you that continue to support me, thank you, because without you, my channel cannot still be sustained, exist, or supported till this day. And for that, I'm eternally grateful to all of you from the bottom of my heart. You can find me on any social media platform. It's all down in the description below. You can hit me on any of those DMs if you guys want to talk or anything like that. And, you know, it's perfectly fine. Or hit me up on Xbox. Xbox for life, like I said, that can't be cured. That's my saying. That's my slogan, people. Don't get triggered. It's all in gaming. It's all in good fun. I'll see you guys soon. Love you. Until the next one. Peace. Ebot signing off. Bye.